So what exactly happened today at Diddy's pretrial hearing? Well, a lot of people were expecting that this would be the bail hearing and whether or not he would be granted bail after a third attempt. Well, that is not what happened today. What happened today, we found out that the defense, Diddy's defense, would like to have a trial this spring. Let's talk about that and unpack another Diddy update. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So if you are a follower of the channel, then you know we've been following the Diddy updates, giving you nightly Diddy updates here on the YouTube channel. But don't forget, you can also hear a lot of our Diddy updates and other content, special content exclusively on the Kempire podcast. Be sure to subscribe today and don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. So here's your update in regards to this, because I think we all expected, because we heard that Diddy was attempting to go for bail a third time. As you know, the last judge that denied it stepped down due to a, quote, scheduling conflict. There's a new judge overseeing this trial, and apparently that gives Diddy another opportunity to appeal for bail. So this is, I have a few things that I want to cover in regards to this, but I do want to give you what TMZ is reporting in regards to this, because Diddy could also be facing more additional charges. But if you've been following the channel, we told you that was a possibility, that the Southern District of New York clearly said that they were still investigating. They have been hearing from witnesses since then. As you know, there are plenty of civil suits, but the accusations are pretty damning, including Tony Busby's report that 25 of his 120 lawsuits that will be coming against Diddy in the next 30 days, 25 were minors when the abuse occurred. So TMZ gave us a few different updates, but first let me just backtrack a little bit. They said Diddy's back in court and prosecutors are saying he may be facing more criminal charges in the near future, mentioning the possibility of a superseding indictment. Sidebar, the prosecutors were annoyed with Diddy's team trying to paint them as a racist and that they leaked the Cassie video. We talked about that during our Diddy update last night. So the judge told Diddy's lawyers the trial could begin in May. And that's when federal prosecutors revealed their investigation is ongoing and it may result in additional charges against Diddy. That's an important part. I think a lot of people are focused on the May 2025 court date, which does, based off the legal experts I see discussing this case, they say that is very, very ambitious of the defense team because there is a lot of information that the prosecutors have against Diddy, a lot of discovery. And apparently this week, I think it was this week, Diddy's defense team received some of that information. So this is very ambitious to think in the next few months that you'll be able to put together a case. But this is why it's important that he get out, because if he's able to get out, they may, if Diddy is able to make bail this third time, then they may consider pushing this back because the evidence against Diddy is pretty damning. I also want to say this. I'm sorry with the sidebars, but it's relevant to the case because I know a lot of you have legal questions. I'm not an attorney. However, I definitely talk to a lot of different attorneys and I listen to a lot of different attorneys. And one of the questions that people had was, is there a bigger fall guy? Could Diddy try and get an appeal? We've asked this question multiple times, and every legal expert's probably going to have a different response. But this particular response that I heard recently, I said made a lot of sense. The fall guy is Diddy. The big honcho, the person that they want to get, is him. There really isn't some bigger guy. There could be in their discovery in all of what they're doing, but regardless, an appeal for Diddy would mean admitting to something, meaning that he would still face at minimum 15 years in prison. And it doesn't look like that's something that he wants. The other question that I saw that people were asking, because we discussed this with Stephanie St. Aubin, it's not usual for the person on trial in this particular kind of trial to take the stand. But as you know, Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's attorney, says that he wants to take the stand. So some legal experts will say that is ridiculous. That's not what you should do. But some believe that, well, who else would he call? Besides, what, the other male S workers? Who is he going to call in his defense? I'm just painting a picture for you because these are all the things that people are discussing today in regards to Diddy's pretrial hearing. So they said the feds are backing up what we first reported in regards to TMZ. They said that Diddy's grand jury is still looking into the allegations against him, hearing from at least one more S worker about their alleged relationship with the mogul. And it's possible it could lead to new charges. The rap producer and his dream legal team, as you know, he's added 2 additional experienced attorneys from what we hear. They arrived in New York City Southern District Court Thursday after filing a motion to expedite the feds handing over their evidence in the case because they want to start figuring out their case. If you're going to try and have trial in May of next year, that's not a lot of time for them to go through all the evidence. So Diddy's team, now consisting, as I mentioned before, of 2 more attorneys, Anthony Rico and Alexandra Shapiro, recently filed another motion as well, asking for bail for the 3rd time since his arrest in the middle of September at a fancy New York City hotel, as you may recall. According to TMZ sources, they say that Tony is known as one of the finest trial lawyers in the country, while Alexandra is one of the best appellate lawyers practicing today. So they're still in their 3rd attempts claiming that Diddy is not a flight risk. He's still currently trying to sell his private plane. I'm surprised no one has tried to buy it without a bunch of sage in it, but okay. So the feds say that they collected terabytes of e-data during their searches of Diddy's homes in Miami, Los Angeles, and New York over the last several months. And they're still sifting through it all. And technically I forgot the name of the law, he's entitled to have a speedy trial within the next 90 days. So in a motion filed Wednesday night, Diddy's lawyers accused the feds of orchestrating a leak of the infamous Cassie video. We talked about that last night during your Diddy update. Diddy also is dealing with a lot of civil lawsuits, as you know, one from Tony Busby that it's 120 individual civil lawsuits. And he claims, according to Tony Busby, that there are other high-profile celebrities that will probably be named, but some of them have already started paying up and buying off the victims. So here's a couple of the updates from TMZ in regards to this. So first of all, the defense wants to have this trial in May of 2025. A lot of legal experts are saying that is very ambitious, especially knowing that there is so much information that the feds have on Diddy, terabytes worth of information. So TMZ says that things are getting testy in the courtroom, with Diddy's legal team asking for a gag order and accusing the feds of leaking grand jury information to the press. They said the assistant United States attorney denied talking to the press and then accused Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, of baselessly accusing the government of engaging in a racist prosecution. The prosecutors quoted Agnifilo as saying the government's case against Diddy is, quote, the takedown of a successful black man, which is what he told us in our new TMZ documentary, you know, The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictment. The judge then said he didn't have Diddy's bail appeal in front of him and said that Diddy will remain behind bars. So a lot of people expected that this would happen today, the bail hearing. So no, Diddy will remain behind bars. And then once the judge sees the bail appeal, then probably, they said that because it's such a high profile case, that more than likely that will happen very quickly. Probably not quick enough for Diddy though. They also said in their update that prosecutors in the defense agreed not to speak to the media going forward. Oh, just in time for Mark Agnifilo to stop doing press. The judge did not impose a gag order though. So to give you a little bit more insight, we are citing our friends over at Deadline in regards to this. So specifically, according to Deadline, the trial date, according to what the defense is hoping for, will be May 5th of 2025, which a lot of legal experts would say that it's very ambitious, especially because of the amount of evidence that the defense needs to review before that time. So as we mentioned before, in regards to what the defense is saying to justify a release of Diddy, Deadline says, having failed twice to get their client out of the clink, the new arm of the rapper's defense team have filed an appeal earlier this week in hopes that a third try will see Combs get a pre-trial release. At the same time, and playing to the timing of events like today's hearing, Combs' lawyers are also attacking the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams' case by calling on October 9th for a judicial hearing into unlawful government leaks by the Department of Homeland Security, which they allege were intended to smear Combs ahead of a possible trial. So in a quote from this, they say the videotape was leaked to CNN for one reason alone, to morally wound the reputation and the prospect of Sean Combs successfully defending himself against these allegations. Still doesn't stop the fact that we all saw it. And then he went on Instagram and admitted to a crime. They are seeking an evidentiary hearing on the matter, with the vivid video evidence either ending up suppressed or the charges dismissed. Thing is, looks like they will be maybe barking up the wrong tree or looking for a distraction. The Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office wrote the judge late Wednesday to say that they had nothing to do with CNN getting the vile surveillance footage. In fact, prosecutors included a copy of the email they sent to Combs' lawyer the afternoon of October 9th. To be clear, to our understanding, DHS did not have possession of the videotape prior to CNN's publication of it, said the U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson, in a 12:45 p.m. Eastern email. Only the government had authority to obtain grand jury material, and the video broadcast by CNN was not obtained through grand jury process. So Deadline reminds us, once the 2016 video was made public in May of this year, Combs quickly issued an apology and claimed to be ashamed of himself. The apology was met with disdain by Ventura's lawyers and many others. So we're going to continue to follow this story. I know a lot of people are expecting to hear some sort of decision in regards to Diddy's bail, but that was recently filed this week. And from what we're hearing, according to legal experts, because it's such a high-profile case, we should know a response very soon. Guys, I want to know your reaction to the news that Diddy will remain detained and could possibly be facing more charges. And the SDNY is not happy that his defense team is trying to paint them as racist and leaking the Cassie video. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter.